Peace y'all, I am ICC and today I have the CronusMax Plus and the Titan 2 and we're gonna put them head to head. Let's take a look at the device themselves. The first thing you will notice is the size. The CronusMax is about half the size of the Titan 2. The Titan 2 has 2 buttons and 4 USB ports, while the Cronus has 1 USB port and 1 button. So that does affect the size. The CronusMax plugs right into the console while the Titan 2 uses a micro USB cable to connect. Personally, I prefer connecting it with the USB cable because while the CronusMax is plugged in, it sticks far out. With the Titan 2 design, you can tuck away the device and keep it safe. The CronusMax Plus has 9 internal memory slots and 1 button to flip through them. You go up until it reaches 9 and then it cycles back to 0. With no memory card support, the CronusMax leaves no way to increase the memory. The Titan 2 has 3 internal memory slots, but also has a microSD slot available. This adds an additional 6 slots for each microSD card that you have. These 6 slots can hold bigger scripts than the original 3. The Titan 2 has 2 buttons, so you can go up and down through slots 1 to 9. You can also cycle through the slots by holding the L or R and tapping the PS or Xbox button. The CronusMax Plus only has 1 USB port, but it does support certain USB hubs. Some USB hubs can cause lag, so make sure to check out their list of good ones. You will need at least firmware version 1.23. The Titan 2 doesn't support USB hubs as of now, but it may be on the roadmap. For now, it has 4 usable USB ports. There are 2 on the front which can be used for input A and input B, and 2 micro USB ports on the back which are used for programming and output, but they can also be used as 2 more inputs if you have OTG adapters. The CronusMax does not support controller headsets. However, it does come with an external USB sound card that works only on the PlayStation 4. If you are on the Xbox, you will need to purchase your own sound card and plug it into the console. The Titan 2 supports headsets going through the controller. It works like normal with no special cables needed, just plug and play. If you are crossover gaming, say for example a PlayStation 3 controller on the PlayStation 4, plug your PlayStation 3 controller into input A and plug your PS4 controller into input B to use that headset jack since the PS3 controller does not have one. The CronusMax comes with a USB dongle. You will need to sync up with it so you can play wirelessly, and it only supports 1 device. The Xbox One wireless receiver does work, but you will need to purchase that separately. The Titan 2 supports that same USB dongle, however the Titan 2 accepts other dongles as well. So you can have a wireless mouse and keyboard dongle plugged right into the Titan 2. The Titan 2 also has an internal Bluetooth module that you can use. This will free up your USB ports. It works better than a USB dongle, it's faster, and it supports up to 4 connections. The Xbox One wireless receiver also works on the Titan 2. However, I recommend the internal Bluetooth module over the Xbox One wireless receiver. CronusMax and Titan 2 both work on all the same machines: PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Raspberry Pi, and even Android if you have an OTG adapter. However, the Titan 2 works on the Nintendo Switch, while the Cronus has absolutely no plans to add support. Both devices support pretty much the same controllers when it comes to the main consoles: PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Wii, and Wii U. However, the Titan 2 supports Nintendo Switch controllers, and it will automatically read most USB controllers right off the bat. A quick note: an Xbox 360 Microsoft wireless receiver is required when using an Xbox 360 wireless control for both the Cronus and the Titan 2. This is because the USB on the wireless 360 controller is used only for charging and not for communication. This is not the case for Xbox One, which allows the USB to communicate. CronusMax allows for crossover gaming, but you will need to map the buttons. There are remapper profiles you will need to get on your PC or Mac and create a mapper profile if it doesn't exist. Then drag and drop it onto the CronusMax so you can select that script to use your controllers with the button layout that you want. Titan 2 automatically reads all official controllers and it will map all of the buttons so you can just plug and play. However, if you want to customize the layout, you can do that by hooking it up to your PC or Mac and remapping the buttons. The CronusMax does support steering wheels, and there are two methods, but you must have your CronusMax hooked up to the PC or Mac and running the plugin XIM. The Cronus has a steering wheel mode, and it's exclusively for the PlayStation 4. It supports Logitech and most phonetic steering wheels. It supports force feedback, the pedals, and the gear shifter. This requires updated software, firmware, and a compatible USB hub. The second method is standard mode. The CronusMax will fool the console into thinking the steering wheel is actually a controller, so it will be fully supported on any game. Keep in mind, there is no force feedback support with this method, and that some wheels will require custom scripts to get pedals and gear shifters working. The Titan 2 as of right now supports steering wheels as a generic HID device, so some steering wheels will work and others will have limited functions. You can run a script to have more functions supported. Full support for Logitech wheels will be added, although I don't know when. The CronusMax does support a keyboard and mouse. It takes some time to set it up and it requires a PC to be connected at all times with the XIM plugin. The Titan 2 supports mouse and keyboard and has a few different ways to do it. You can use wireless mouse and keyboards that use a single dongle or even separate dongles for mouse and keyboard. You can also use a USB connection instead of a wireless. The Cronus only supports XIM if the CronusMax hardware you have is manufactured after January 2015. So make sure you get a newer device if this is why you are getting it. The Titan 2 supports XIM, but it's recommended that you use a power supply. I got mine for about $4. I made a video on exactly which one to buy and when to use it. I will include a link in the description. The CronusMax does not support CHATPADs or the PS4 controller speaker. The method the CronusMax uses to communicate with the PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360 controllers makes it incompatible. The Titan 2 supports CHATPADs and also supports the PS4 controller speaker. There isn't a lot more to say about this besides you can use it if you want to. The CronusMax has partial and full crossover support. Partial support will be enabled when you check the box, and this will cause the CronusMax to automatically disconnect and reconnect to the PS4 every 10 minutes. There will be a 1-second pause when you can't input commands. The full crossover support is when you have new firmware and you use a USB hub to connect your crossover controller along with the DualShock 4. The Titan 2 has full crossover support and you don't need a USB hub to do it. You use the same method as you do with the CronusMax, but there are enough ports on the Titan 2 to plug everything in. Connect your crossover controller and connect a controller that matches the console into the Titan 2 and you are good to go. You can also use the Bluetooth connection to authenticate your PS4 controller. This requires the user to have the Titan 2's Bluetooth module. This method may cost a little bit more because you need the module, but if you already plan on getting it, then this method might be the best for you. Scripting is a bit similar. There are some exclusive commands for each device, but I'm not going to go through an entire scripting language and its list of commands. I will, however, mention the biggest couple differences that I have found so far. The CronusMax scripts are made for specific consoles. You script the buttons for the console you want to play on. For example, you write PS4_cross or PS3_cross, and it only works with those specific consoles. While the Titan 2 uses a broader scripting language for the buttons, so what was a separate function for PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360 are all now a single entry. This automatic preset allows all scripts to work for all consoles. There is no longer a need to script with a specific console in mind. There are some other differences here and there, such as the Titan II allows longer scripts, so you can write more intricate scripts with more functions. The CronusMax and Titan have software that kind of does the same thing. You can download scripts, write scripts, and access your device to set the output protocol or any other setting. One big difference is the fact that Titan II software doesn't need any plugins. All the functions and everything are right there for you to mess with. And I like that. It kind of simplifies things. One thing I like about the CronusMax software is the controller idle timeout option. You can enable it, and if your controller is idle for too long, it will turn off to save the battery. The Titan II software does not have this yet. There are some things I wasn't able to find and compare, most of which I would say are the hardware specs. But I would imagine the Titan II has the edge in most, if not all of the specs. I will leave it up to you guys to decide which one is best for you. As of right now, I prefer the Titan II for crossover gaming, controller headsets, and running scripts. The Cronus has some of the same functions, but most of the time it needs to be plugged into the PC, while the Titan II can be a standalone device. Anyways, I'm ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.